Do you think for yourself, or is someone thinking for you? Imagine waking up one day and realizing that many of your deepest beliefs were not truly yours. The opinions you defend so passionately, where did they come from? The values you hold, were they shaped by your own reasoning or by external influences? The choices you make, are they genuinely yours, or were they engineered by forces you never even questioned? Throughout history, people have believed they were thinking for themselves, while in reality, their thoughts were shaped by hidden hands: society, media, propaganda, education, and group psychology. This chapter will explore the psychology behind why we believe what we do, how social structures, media, and authority figures influence our thinking, the fine line between free will and programmed responses, techniques to recognize and reclaim your own independent thought. At the heart of this discussion is a vital question: are you truly in control of your own mind? The science of influence, how your mind is shaped without you noticing. The psychology of mass influence. Have you ever wondered why entire societies can be manipulated into believing falsehoods? People tend to follow the crowd, even when it contradicts logic. Ideas spread like viruses, taking root in people's minds without them realizing it. This is because humans are wired for conformity. Psychologists like Solomon Asch and Stanley Milgram conducted famous experiments demonstrating how easily people abandon their own judgment when pressured by authority or the majority. The Asch conformity experiment. Participants were shown lines of different lengths and asked to identify which was the longest. When alone, almost everyone answered correctly. When surrounded by actors giving the wrong answer, 75% of people conformed to the incorrect response. The conclusion? We are conditioned to follow the majority, often without realizing it. The Milgram experiment, obedience to authority. In 1961, psychologist Stanley Milgram tested how far people would go in obeying an authority figure. Participants were told to administer electric shocks to a subject, an actor, when they answered incorrectly. Shockingly, 65% of participants delivered the highest voltage shock, despite hearing screams of pain. They continued simply because an authority figure told them to. If people can be persuaded to override their own moral compass, how many of our everyday thoughts are truly our own? The media's role, information or manipulation, the illusion of choice. Are you being programmed? Modern media creates the illusion of choice, yet in reality, most news, entertainment, and online discourse are controlled by a handful of corporations. 6 major companies control 90% of US media. Google and Facebook filter your news feed, showing what aligns with your past behavior. Social media algorithms are designed to keep you engaged, not informed. Studies show that people who consume a narrow selection of media sources begin to echo the exact beliefs and language patterns of those sources. This is known as the echo chamber effect, where independent thought is drowned out by constant reinforcement. The propaganda model, manufacturing consent. Linguist Noam Chomsky argues that modern societies do not need to force people to believe certain things. Instead, they subtly shape the boundaries of acceptable thought. This is done through selective exposure. Some stories dominate headlines, while others are ignored. Framing. The same event can be made to look heroic or evil depending on word choice. Repetition. The more you hear something, the more you assume it's true. By keeping the illusion of open debate, but restricting real alternatives, media ensures that most people never think beyond certain limits. Breaking free. How to reclaim your own mind. If we want to think for ourselves, we must practice intellectual humility. Recognize that many of your opinions may not be truly yours, but inherited from external sources. Be willing to challenge even your strongest beliefs. Expose yourself to contradictory perspectives. If you only consume media that reinforces your current beliefs, you are trapped. Read books, watch debates, and listen to thinkers outside your ideological comfort zone. Question everything, even common sense. Many things we accept as obvious truths were once considered radical ideas. History is filled with examples of certainties that were later overturned. Follow the money. Ask, who benefits from me believing this? If an idea is being pushed aggressively by corporations, governments, or influencers, always investigate their interests. Develop mental resilience. Thinking independently can be socially uncomfortable. Be ready for resistance and never trade truth for acceptance. Conclusion: who are you when you truly think for yourself? At the end of this journey, the question remains, are your thoughts truly your own? If your beliefs were shaped by media, education, and authority, can you still call them yours? If your choices are predictable by algorithms, are they really choices? If you never challenge what you've been told, are you really thinking or just repeating? True freedom is not about rejecting everything, but about choosing consciously what to believe. So ask yourself, who are you when you truly think for yourself? Like, share, and subscribe to uncover more.